Hello and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight on our Catholic Go Live YouTube platform. This show is in conjunction with the World Environment Day 2021. The theme of the World Environment Day this year is ecosystem restoration. First of all, before we commence our show tonight, we would like to welcome all of you who are tuning in onto our channel for the first time. Welcome, and we are glad to have you tonight. So today, it is our first actually creation justice English show on the environment on our channel tonight. So for those who are just tune in for the first time, you might be a bit not familiar. So you can actually use the live chat feature down there to actually interact with myself and also the panel. So feel free to actually type in any comments or any questions where we will actually bring them to our panel towards the end of our program. Yes, we can see there's a KW say hi. Okay, good evening. Okay, so today we are very fortunate to have a panel who will be sharing their lifestyle choices that kindle to the environment. So today we are glad to learn something new, some new skills from our panels. So today we have four people in our panel. First of all, we have Helena who will be sharing with us about planting in small garden, which I believe most of us we are facing with this limited spacing in our housing areas. And next, Boniface will be telling us more about his composting method. And while Teresa will then teach us to make our own bioenzyme. And finally, Anna will show us what we can build with eco bricks. So as this is an online show, we welcome all of you to actually post your questions, comment, and thoughts through our YouTube live chat feature. So before we hear from our panel tonight, let us watch a short video on some environmental problems that we are currently facing. once again, let us welcome our panel. Hi, good evening, everyone. Okay, so hi. So let's pass the mic to our first panel, who will be sharing with us some tips on planting in our small garden. Helena, please.
Hi, I'm Helena. I'm not an expert in gardening, but I'm sharing with you some experiences in growing. It's really beneficial to have fresh vegetables available, especially during this pandemic. As in Genesis 1:11, then God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, according to their various kinds." And it was so. So actually, it's not difficult to do gardening. There are some things you need. For example, soil. Okay, the key to successful growing is good soil. So later, stay tuned to watch a video on soil preparation a short while later. Okay, as for seeds, you keep your seeds from your store-bought vegetables, okay, to grow. For example, like chili or pumpkin. All right, don't throw them away because they grow easily. Or you can actually use cuttings from vegetables like money chai. Just stick the branch into your garden soil and it will grow very easily. And third one is the pots, okay? If you do not have garden space like me, then you can grow your vegetables or your plants in pots, container, or bag, okay? But if you have land space, then pots and containers are not necessary. You can recycle any paint drums or containers to grow. Just make sure to drill holes at the bottom of your container for good drainage, okay? Next, fertilizers. You can make your own organic fertilizers, in fact, okay, by using fruit peels, that is eco enzymes, which our speaker, Teresa, will share later. All right. Other fertilizers, you can also make them easily by using fish innards, eggshells, or you can even get cow or goat manure easily, either on Lazada or Shopee. All right. You need a space with good location, okay, with sunlight. Most plants need at least 6 to 8 hours of sunlight, but some do well under shade. So it is beneficial if you have a location with full sunlight, especially for your vegetables and fruiting plants. Of course, like everything else, plants also need tender loving care, right? Of course, you will need to tend to your garden every morning or evening to ensure that they are all growing very well. You need to water, fertilize, or to control pests. Now, let's take a peek on how my garden looks like. Okay, you see outside my house, I grow most of my vegetables and plants all in small pots, okay, and bags. You see there's a black bag there. And you see two paint drums, white drums. They are actually my compost bins, okay? Because of space constraint, I grow my plants vertically on the trellis that my husband did for me to grow pumpkin, bitter gourd, or any climbing plants, okay? The picture on your right, you see there are more pots, and I even use toilet flush tank to grow herbs, okay? And inside my house, you see, I use more pots, containers, and bags, and a tall trellis for my climbing plant. You can see my figs growing in white paint drums, and also my ginger that is growing in a old laundry basket, the green laundry basket, okay? I also have a self-watering system, okay, made out of pipes and mineral water bottles. There are two 1-liter bottles filled with water at both ends of the system that supplies water to the plants. And it is growing in upturned mineral water bottles. What you need is actually to cut or burn holes along the mineral water bottles so that the roots can go downwards and for better drainage. I have also a rain harvesting system. All right, to channel all the rainwater from my gutter, my roof gutter for my garden needs. They are made from pipes and 3 large garbage bins fixed with taps. This saves me a lot of water. Okay, it saves me from paying high water bills. My water bills are actually very low, usually below 5 ringgit. Of course, there are many ways of harvesting rainwater. Let's now move on to see how Dr. Maria does hers.
Shalom. This is my garden. I have a long, narrow strip of land beside my house, about 100 feet. It is mostly tiled up, and so I don't have much of land with soil. But I like gardening, so most of my plants are in pots. I have more than 100 pots of plants, some flowers, but mostly green leaves. And lately, I started to plant vegetables and herbs. You will also see that there is a long strip of roof, and so whenever it rains, the water will come running down the roof edges. I make use of this roof that has the rainwater coming down to harvest the rain. I have 2 systems. A simple one is like this. The black thong cover with any fine nettings or cloth. Here I make use of my old laundry bags that the zips were spoiled. I put the system under the roof where the water is most abundant when it rains to capture the rainwater. I keep the thong covered with the cloth all the time so that the mosquito cannot lay egg into the collected water. I will lift up the cloth to fill my watering can and cover it back immediately. And I will periodically check the water to make sure no jentik in the collected water. There is another system of rain harvesting that I have. I spent 50 ringgit for this blue hard plastic thong, which was the container for raw material of soap and shampoo. Then, up the roof, I asked a friend to help me to install a short gutter which cost another few ringgit. So with this gutter, the water from the roof will be diverted down along this pipe through a sieve, the orange sieve funnel with sieve, into the blue thong. The sieve will sieve out seeds, dirt, leaves, and so on. This is to prevent the system from getting clogged up. There is an old socks covering the inlet of the blue thong. This is to prevent the mosquito from going into the thong and lay eggs. So the rainwater gets diverted into the thong, and at the bottom of the thong, I fix a pipe and a hose where I use the harvested rainwater to water my plant from the front to the back. There is another pipe coming down from the roof. Both these pipes actually are the old washing machine pipes. The second pipe is mounted to the water outlet of the balcony. If the rain is heavy, the balcony collects a lot of water which is drained out through this outlet. Now I use a PET bottle to divert the water through this hose into the blue thong system. This part of the garden has more sunlight, and so I started to plant various type of vegetable. Here, this part of the garden is at the back. There is another roll of thong to collect rainwater coming down from the awning with the same concept. The pink nettings is the plastic gunny sack for onion and potatoes which you can get from the grocery store. They usually throw them away anyway. I have a lot of plants to water, and harvesting rainwater help me to save money. My water bill is about 6 to 8 ringgit a month only, despite having to water so many plants. Yes, there are many tongs that store water for use over many days, so I must cover them properly to avoid breeding mosquito. If the container is not covered, it must be emptied every 3 to 4 days. Besides watering plant, the rainwater that can also be used to wash the floor and porch and the drain. This helps to avoid using drinkable fresh water for the floor, which to me is a waste of resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Maria, for sharing. Now we go back to see some of the successful harvests from my garden over the years. Here's my almost 10 kg winter melon grown on a trellis above my compost bin that you saw in the earlier slides. Okay, take note of the size of the pot that it is grown in. It's about 10 by 10 inches big only. So it's really amazing to grow such a big winter melon in such a small pot. My pride and joy a few years ago was also some butternut squash growing on my trellis. Okay, this type of Australian pumpkin is sold for 18 ringgit each at 18 ringgit a kilo each at the village grocer. So I was very excited when I managed to grow about 8 to 10 trellis on my trellis years ago. My other harvests are, I have Acelera cherry, I have pumpkin, I have papayas, I have fig, and also brinjal, and bitter gourd. Here you can see I have fig grown in a plain drum and king guava in a container made with old wooden pallets. They were on rollers, so they were on rollers in my porch. So I push them aside when my car needs to go out. You can also grow other vegetables easily in your garden. Some of the examples are mint, chives, turmeric, Brazilian spinach, and oregano. Chives gives you a continuous supply of harvest. Actually, when you cut them, they continue growing again. So they can supply you with vegetables for a very long time. All right, for beginners, you can maybe try to grow Brazilian spinach. Okay, just pluck the leaves from the Brazilian spinach to cook, and then tuck back the hard stems back into the soil so that the new plants can grow. Then you stir fry the leaves with eggs, with ikan bilis, or even cook them in sambal like your kangkong, or cook them in your soup in your Maggi mee. All right. Don't throw away your sprouted spring onions, ginger, or sweet potato because they grow very easily in soil. You stick them back into the soil and water them. All right. So try to grow ginger, leek, basil, and of course flowers too. I grow flowers in my garden because they beautify my garden and they bring bees to help pollinate my fruiting plants. Not forgetting the aloe vera. The aloe vera is a very useful plant to grow, especially useful for first aid when you have oil splashes or minor burns. Okay. Now let's proceed to watch a video on soil preparation.
Everyone. Hi everyone. This is how the proper soil looks like when it's ready for growing, you will see that this soil, if you press and then it disintegrates nicely, it is good enough for planting. All right, very often when we grow, actually you can use any kind of soil. The ones that are sold in nurseries, you can find organic potting mix like this, yeah. 8 in 1, 10 in 1. All right, I will show you the consistency of this soil. If you see this soil, they are very fine. They are very fine, and in my experience, if you use this soil alone, over time when there's rain and exposed to sun, it will get compacted. So it's best if we can add it with some sand like this. All right, and then, or you can also add topsoil. You can get it easily at the nurseries. All right, or you can also add cocoa peat, also available at nurseries. All right, all these you just add a little bit, just stir them all together like nasi goreng, and then you get like this. Okay, of course, it would be the best if you have compost, your own homemade compost made out of kitchen waste. All right, this is how a ready compost look like. You can see. Can you see? It is alive with earthworms. Okay, it is the best in the gardening world. We call this black gold. If you have enough of this, you don't have to do the combination of the rest. All right, so for my experience, I just play with soil. I like to mix everything together to get this. All right, and then it is ready to go. It's ready for planting your vegetables or any plants that you want. Thank you.
In fact, you can save lots of money on buying soil by making your own compost out of kitchen waste. Boniface will now share with you methods of composting. Over to you, Boniface.
Right. Thank you, Helena. So, yeah. Am I sharing my screen now? Oh, okay. Sorry, I cannot get my screen sharing. Yes, now I'm okay. Okay, can you see it now?
Okay.
Yeah, hi. So thank you, Helena. Now, can you see this truck here?
Yes.
Yeah, and do you like to stay behind it?
Oh, no, definitely no. It's very stink, very smelly. Yeah, I don't like to stay near the truck.
Yes, yeah, we don't want to stay even 1 minute behind it. But what about these poor workers? They have to work 8 to 10 hours daily on these trucks because of this leachate, no? You see the leachate falling down from the truck and onto the road. And even when you reach the landfill, they still have even more. So this leachate makes the truck and the roads very smelly. And so when I see it, that's when I decide that my home's kitchen food waste would never enter these garbage roads, garbage trucks and roads anymore. So that's why I decide to do composting. So I have two systems of composting, and this is a very basic one. It consists of about 8 pots or pails, any second-hand ones, and plus 7 of these, plus 1 spare one. And so that every day, the food waste can be put on a daily basis, one by one. So this is for day 1, day 2, day 3, and so on until it reaches day 7. So it can last for 1 whole week. After 1 week, you come back to box or pail number 1. All right. And as Helena pointed out, if the soil is too compact and so on, you can add this spare sandy soil into the what you call this soil that is mixed with from the nursery, this potted soil. So actually, any other type of soil should be okay because the composting will make the soil richer. So what happens is every day, my wife would put her kitchen waste inside this bin, which is actually made from an engine oil jerry can, recycle. So, and from this jerry can, the food waste will be transferred to this pail to be mixed with the soil. So, as I said, they go week by week. So after 7 or 8 weeks, the composted soil will be fermented, and so it's ready to be used in your garden beds or pots and so on to grow vegetables and fruits and so on. And for us here, this is my backyard, actually back lane. So I don't use any land at all, just a backyard. So on top of the drains to make my compost. So most of our composted soils have been transferred to the front part of the house to grow flowers and veggies. Example like okra or lady's fingers, cangkok manis or money chai mentioned by Helena just now, sweet potato leaves and things like that. Mulberry tree, moringa. Moringa is my favorite plant because it has got so many uses. So it can be made into juice, and it can be made in soup and omelette and things like that, all up to the cook's imagination. So with this, I think I have solved the problem of food waste, and as I said, achieved the objective of what you call this zero food waste. As far as food waste going into the garbage truck is concerned, I have achieved this goal, and I think the garbage truck workers are very happy too. And I'd like to give our host a quiz. Look, besides the garbage workers, who do you think is also happy?
Other than the garbage worker, who will be happy? I'm not very sure. Do you mind to share with us?
Oh yeah. I wanted to give you a prize, but since you cannot get it, I have to tell you the answer. It's my wife who is very happy because every morning when she comes to the kitchen, she sees the bin all clean, all her rubbish gone. And who was the magician who did it? Her husband, of course. So now she likes me better and cooks better food for me. Thank you. Look, yeah. The costing is very cheap. If you minus these two charcoal and speck, it's only about 40 ringgit. So which can be recovered from the soil that you compost soil that you derive, that you harvest, and you can even sell to other people. Now, besides the benefits for the garbage workers and so on for my wife, this compost system can be combined with this vertical garden, just like Helena did also on her trellis and so on. Okay, so for those without space, I think composting can be combined with this. And so there are many other ways, other examples of this trellis. So then there are some issues that may come out for composting, which are all given here. And one of them is that, what about watermelon and durian skins and so on, coconut husks and shells? Well, actually, of course, it can't be put there unless I chop it. For myself, I chop into small pieces, but this is a link to a machine which is made in Thailand, which can be used to to break down, break coconut husks and whatever bones and so on into small pieces. So the problem can be solved, especially if the community gets together and invest in a machine like this. And rain also is a problem. So you cannot allow your compost to be flooded. So you can have a simple shade, or as our members have shared, Dr. Maria and Helena, you can go into rain harvesting. And if you have too much composted soil, then you can always give to neighbors, or you can sell to nursery. And for those poor families, they can use this as a source of income. Next, besides my first system, I have another system, so I call system 2, and it's a food waste digester. Actually, this is based on the green corn digester by Oxford County in England, and it's very good for bones and other types of food waste that I mentioned just now, which cannot be maybe tackled by my first system. So I learned this from a friend's garden. She started this in her garden, and so this is already ready. You see her garden is very big, and this is already ready-made. And as you can see, the compost is already inside here. And I think, as you can see, the types of compost food can be very, what do you call this, a lot. And this system can tackle it. I'll explain in detail. Okay, so what you need is just these 3 items. First, a laundry basket with lots of holes, so that later on the waste will become water or fluid, can flow out into the garden. And then you need a pail, second-hand pail, and a garbage bin. All right, and then the pail, first thing is to cut it here. More in details. So her husband is cutting this pail, all right, bottom part, and remove the handle, and then make a hole on cut away this part of the utility bin, and then after that you place the pail on top of the bin. Okay, some more pictures to show it. So it's quite simple actually, all very clearly. And if I'm not wrong, there is a video showing how you, before I go to the video, you notice that I show these 2 arrows. That is the principle behind the system, where you have 2 walls formed by the pail, the wall on from the pail, and the wall from the bin. So this open space allows the circulation of air and heat, and this will allow the bacteria to grow, other microorganisms also, as well as worms. So these organisms and bacteria will break down the food. Yeah. So again, in action now. So it's quite simple. And for the top part, you can use the cover. It's not shown here. The blue cover, it can be used to cover this, or something harder than or heavier, just in case the wind blows it away. Now, in our hot tropical climate, there is no need for this accelerator powder mentioned in the Oxford County video, as long as you put it under a hot place and not under a shade. Okay, some more. So you dig a hole, and you must satisfy 2 conditions. The soil has got good drainage. That's why we put water here. After 10 minutes, if the water disappears, then the soil is suitable. Then you can bury the system inside there. All right. As I mentioned, it should be placed under strong sunlight. And again, this is a link to the YouTube to the Oxford County video. Okay, so this is how it works in principle, in diagrammatic form. So the food waste goes inside there and into the basket, and because of this double wall, there is a free circulation of air and heat. And so this will encourage bacteria and other microorganisms to grow. So this will break down the food waste, which will become fluid or water, and it will flow out into the rest of the garden, fertilizing the plants with a lot of nutrients. And the soil will filter out the smells, odors, and prevent excess by flies. So the beautiful thing about this system is number 3. There is no need for maintenance. Everything is broken down by the microorganisms. So we don't need people to turn the compost upside down or things like that. So save a lot of work, quite automatic. And the cost is also about 50 ringgit. So very affordable. So I learned it from my friend. So in my turn, I recommended it to be implemented in this old folks home, consisting of 22 inmates, 11 male and 11 female. So quite a big population there. All right. And I recommended it to them. So the committee, after meeting, accepted the idea. And so we went to implement it on a DIY basis. So you can see our team here, Joseph, cutting it. And then same thing as I showed in the earlier pictures. Okay, so quite easy. And dig a hole, put water there, test with water, and it's okay. Then you bury it, and that's done. And let's have a look. So it's implemented on this side. Yeah, so it's done. So that's how this system helps the old folks home to take care of their food waste. Sorry. Okay, so mission accomplished. So then whether it what do you call this accomplished the objective of zero food waste, well, I still have to go and find out, because MCO is hard to move. So after MCO, I will go and check whether it accomplishes the objective or not. So the conclusions from these two systems of composting. The first one is it avoids dirty and smelly trucks, roads, tamans, and towns due to leachate. Secondly, it reduces landfills, saves precious land, which can be used for farming, recreation, forestation, and therefore production of more oxygen. As our first video, introductory video showed, the presence of trees is very important for the production of oxygen, our lifeline. And when you reduce the food waste in the landfills, or you prevent the food waste from going into the landfills, you are actually reducing a lot of methane gas, because the food waste constitute 50% of landfills. So if you don't have the food waste, you will reduce a lot of the methane gas, which is a form of greenhouse gas. And personally, I have achieved, as I said, zero food waste. But is that enough or not? It all depends now. So because one person doing it may be a bit slow, well, if we have more people doing it, it will be wonderful. So as I said, I saw the truck and I decided to do it. Okay, so at that moment of time, I underwent what is called an eco conversion. In my heart, I said, no, enough is enough. I don't want to see this smell, this rubbish, and so on. Look also ran away. So make us decide to do something. And this is what we did in our home and also in other people's home, in the old folks' home. And the result is good. You see, something hopefully we get. The earth is will be what we call is restored. Okay, so then this is the summary of the conclusion. I think I've gone through this already. Some useful online. It's all available here. You can contact Luke or our panel if you want more information. It's all there. Okay, thank you for your kind attention and participation. And together, let's save Mother Earth.
Yeah, as you heard the sharing from Boniface, all the useful links and all the hyperlinks from YouTube, we can actually find it in the description below this program. So after this, you can actually refer back of some of the videos that if you like to. So next, we will have Teresa to share with us. Teresa, please.
Okay, so thank you, Boniface, for your interesting sharing. Okay, so hi, I'm Teresa, and I'm going to talk to you about the making of ecoenzyme and its usage. Okay, firstly, you have to find a plastic container like the ones that we use for our Chinese New Year cookies. Please do not use glass bottles because the accumulation of gases during fermentation can cause the glass to break as the glass cannot expand. So the ratio of making the ecoenzyme is 1 part of molasses sugar, or you can use brown sugar or jaggery sugar, and 3 parts of fruit peels like orange, lemon, pineapples, and 10 parts of filtered water or rainwater. Okay, do not fill the water to the top of the container. Always leave a space at the top for the enzyme to breathe during the fermentation process. And do not close the cover tightly, just loosely, and put it in a cool place with no direct sunlight. Remember to stir the ecoenzyme for the first 2 weeks and occasionally open the cover to release the gas. Lastly, remember to label the container with a date so that you will know that it's ready for harvest after 3 months. So this is the progress of the fermentation. Okay, the top will have some white moles and bubbles. It's okay. It means that the fermentation is going on well. So occasionally just remember to stir it and to release out the gas. That is the first month of fermentation, and then the second month and the third month. So once at the end of the fermentation, you filter out the residue, and then you bottle it and label it properly so that everyone knows that it's a ecoenzyme and you can use it anytime you want. Do not throw away the residue. You can put it into your compost bin, or you can use it as fertilizer for your plants. Okay, I use the ecoenzyme daily, and these are some of my examples. My dirty, greasy exhaust fan that has collected grease and dust after some time. And I dilute the ecoenzyme on the spray bottle of a ratio of 10 ml to 500 ml of water. Do not pour any of the sediment into the bottle as it may clog up the sprayer. And I just spray the diluted ecoenzyme onto the exhaust fan and wipe clean with a cloth. And all the grease and dust will be removed easily. And every time after I cook, my stove will be greasy. So I just spray it with the diluted ecoenzyme and wipe it with a cloth. I do not need to use soap, and the stove will not be greasy at all. I also spray the diluted eco-enzyme on my countertop, my furniture, my glass windows and doors, and just wipe clean with a cloth. It will remove most stubborn stain, dust, grease or dirt, and after that it'll be very clean. And I noticed that nowadays I hardly can find ants or cockroaches, lizards around the house. And the surface of the furniture also do not accumulate dust easily too. I even dilute 1:10 ratio of the eco-enzyme into my dishwashing liquid to wash my dishes, pots and pans. It degreases easily and I do not need to use much washing liquid, and it also saves a lot of water. For cleaning my toilet bowl, I just pour some eco-enzyme into the toilet bowl. You do not need to dilute, and even those with sediment also can be poured in. You do not need to add any toilet washing liquid or soap. Just let it sit for 20 minutes and you scrub with a toilet brush and flush it, and you have a clean toilet bowl. For mopping the floor, I pour the eco-enzyme into the pail of water and mop the floor. The floor will be non-greasy, no sticky feeling, and very clean. I feel good that I'm not using any toxic or harsh chemicals on my floor, especially good for those who have babies and small children playing and clawing on the floor. Actually, after using the eco-enzyme, I have saved a lot of money as I do not buy any more floor cleaner liquid or any multi-purpose cleaning liquid for almost 2 years now. I also use the eco-enzyme in my garden for my plants. I dilute about 100 ml of eco-enzyme to 1,000 ml of water in a 1.5 liter mineral bottle and spray it on my plants every day. Frankly speaking, I do not have green fingers, and every time my mom gives me a plant, I will kill it in 2 weeks. But after I started using the eco-enzyme on my plants, I see them flourishing, and I now have a substantial amount of plants, herbs, vegetables around my house. I save money by not buying fertilizers and pesticides as I do my own composting and using eco-enzyme for my plants. Lastly, I also use the eco-enzyme when I soak my feet. I pour about 100 ml of eco-enzyme into a bucket of warm water up to my ankle level and soak my feet. This helps to relieve muscle and joint pain, back aches, and it's also good for blood circulation. I noticed that after soaking my feet for about 20 minutes every day for 2 months, I found that it also healed my cracked heels also. Well, I'm glad that I've used eco-enzyme for my daily cleaning because I'm assured of chemical-free agents that may harm my skin and my health. That's all for my sharing. So now I'm going to hand over to the next speaker, Anna Tan, to talk on eco-bricks.
Okay, my name is Anna Tan, and I'm a teacher from SMK Klebang Besar, Melaka. Now, I'm going to share with you about upcycling with eco-bricks. Let me explain to you what eco-bricks are before I proceed with my upcycling process and procedure. What is eco-brick? An eco-brick is a plastic drinking bottle packed with used plastic bags and plastic foil wrappers. Eco-bricks serve as reusable building blocks. Eco-bricks can be used to produce various items, including furniture, garden walls, and other structures. Eco-bricks are produced primarily as a means of managing consumed plastic that we often throw away. By keeping this plastic apart and containing it safely to secure the plastic from degrading into toxins and microplastics. How to make eco-bricks? The bottle and the packed plastic are clean and dry to prevent the growth of bacteria. You can see here in the picture, I dry the plastic. Plastic is cut or ripped into small pieces, then packed little by little, compacting it layer by layer with a stick. I usually use a metal stick because it's strong. Completed eco-bricks are packed solid enough that they can bear the weight of a person. Objectives: to educate my pupil to reuse plastic waste for a purpose. To educate my pupil to be creative and innovative in producing something new through upcycling. To instill discipline, patience, and confidence. Functions of eco-bricking. It creates a growing awareness of the scale of plastic pollution, the problems it causes, and the dangers of plastic. Do you know that plastic is very dangerous, especially for children? You know, it can cause even difficulty in breathing if a child has asthma. Okay, it makes eco-brick or consumer, help them to reflect the process of saving, segregating, washing, drying, and packing plastic. You know, I've been thinking, what am I doing? You know, normal people will not do that. You know, they will just throw away the plastic bag, the plastic wrappers. It raises individual and collective ecological consciousness over time. It means here it leads to a steady decrease in the eco-brickers' net plastic consumption. Yeah, it makes me realize that I need to bring my bag, my cloth bag, instead of empty-handed, go shopping empty-handed. I'll bring back more single-use plastic bag, and it costs more plastic bags. So I realized that I have to reduce my consumption of plastic bag. My eco-bricks experience, okay, with teachers and pupils back in 2019. You know, in 2019, I had, we had this, workshop with teachers. You know, we sit on the floor and we do eco-bricks together. It's fun, you know, to do that. You know, students should do that. You know, get together to do it together. Then you don't feel, bored, and don't feel it like, it's so time consuming. All right, on the right, you can see my student. Okay, this is Baradan. Back in 2019, he was in Form 1. He helped me to make eco-brick. Okay, my first eco-brick, we use small, mineral water bottle to make small stool. Okay, now it's become very unstable, the stool. Okay, that was the first, stool that we made. Me and myself and Baradan. Okay, things that you need. Okay, things that we find. We went to school to look for bottles. Then we made 17 eco bricks of drinking 100+ bottles. Okay, Baradan helped me to find 2 pieces of reused styrofoam, and he said he has got one electric glue gun. Okay, and then we went to the the furniture the furniture room, all those old furnitures, and then we managed to get the old furniture seat with a sponge, These are all the reused things that we have found, in school before we started our project. Okay, and then we need also, we use one reused sponge and one reused cloth from the seat, one leftover blue cloth that I got from my mother, and what we purchased, we just purchased 2 items, 2 packets of glue. This cost about 4 ringgit, 2 binding tapes, about 6 ringgit, altogether about 10 ringgit. Okay, I'm going to tell you how the process and procedures of this, my student, Varadan, making eco brick, making eco stool with eco bricks. Okay, stick all the bottles together using electric glue gun. Initially, he sticks 9 bottles, and then finally 17 bottles, 17 bottles stuck together, and then they can, be stuck together without falling down. Reuse 2 pieces of styrofoam by sticking them together. Yeah, the styrofoam that, just now I show you, he's smart. He used the styrofoam, he stick them together so that, it's big enough to make it as a seat for the stool. Okay, he measured it for the seat. And then he cut the styrofoam and cardboard according to the size measured. Stick the cardboard to the stool base upside down, and then he trim it. Okay, all freehand. Okay, stick the styrofoam. This is what he did. Okay, start the styrofoam with the glue gun, using the glue gun. Okay, and then after that, he uses the binding tape and bind them horizontally. Then trim the styrofoam and then bind the stool vertically with another binding tape. Okay, then put a layer of cardboard on the styrofoam to strengthen the seat, and then stick it with the glue. And finally, he trimmed the cardboard. Okay, all is ready. Okay, so at the same time, I removed the sponge and the reused cloth from the old chair seat. You apply the glue on the cardboard and then stick the removed sponge on top of it. After sticking the sponge, you trim it according to the shape. Then you use the blue cloth and go around the bottles and then cover the top. You reuse cloth from old chair. Finally, the stool is ready. And then what I did was I brought home the stool and I got the cloths washed and then stitched them to the sponge. Instead of using a stapler, I find that using stapler is not eco-friendly. So I stitch it. After stitching the cloth, it looks presentable. And then the final touch-up of the seat. Finally, my dream, comfortable, strong, and durable 5 kg stool is ready. I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of Baradan. Okay, this is the eco. Okay, this is from eco bricks to eco stool. This is how I started with eco bricks first, and it takes a lot of patience, to make eco bricks. Because from my experience, students will not have the patience to do it. Teachers are the one who do for them. But at least he helped me to make the eco stool. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your sharing, Anna and Boniface, Riza, and Helena. Wow, very interesting idea. So our audience, you can actually adapt these ideas and have some activities with your kids at home, especially now we are everybody is at home, observing this MCO. So this is a pretty good activity for family as well. So now it comes to an end of our program today. So now it's the what we call a Q&A session. So if you have any burning questions that you want to ask our panel today, please type in your questions under the live chat. So currently we have a few people that are actively, chatting in the in the live chat. They're very good. So now let's take a look. We have Nancy, a question from Nancy Horn. She was asking, how do you get rid of ants and from compost pile in plastic container? Maybe we can get Teresa to answer this question. Or anyone in the panel can actually help to address this question.
Actually, if you have ants growing in your bucket that you use to, a kitchen waste bucket, you have ants crawling around, right? So I think the solution is to avoid the ants from coming. Maybe you place another container filled with water, you put the bucket inside there so that the ants will not crawl over your compost, because they tend to be sometimes sticky or sugary, that can draw ants. So maybe you just put it in another bigger container with water so that the ants won't crawl in, like the old traditional grandma method. Our grandmas used to do that. Perhaps you can do that. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And also Nancy is asking, where are we based? So this our panel today, they are from Creation Justice Ministry, Melaka Johor Diocese. So you can actually contact us, and then we will pass you their contact as well. So as you can see in our live chat, Dr. Maria has also shared there are ways that you can actually contact this team. You can actually write to follow their Facebook page, or also you can email them if you have any inquiry. So please keep your question coming in so we can actually share more and to clear your doubts. So, okay, as we are waiting for more questions, before we end the program tonight, we would like to hear from our panel to give one takeaway from your sharing tonight. So to inspire people, to start somewhere. So Helena, please.
Hi, hello. I hope you all have been inspired to grow on your own. All right, you'll be assured of chemical-free vegetables and anything fresh from your garden. You can actually get fresh vegetables from the garden to your table. How fresh you can get, yeah? It is so fresh and it's so chemically free. So it's not difficult to grow on your own. You can learn from so many gardening gurus, like everything you can learn nowadays on the YouTube. So many videos available on the YouTube, and then maybe you can join some gardening groups on Facebook. There are plenty, like Malaysian Gardeners, Simply Tanam, Simply Makan, or even if you're interested to find out more, maybe you can share some other tips that I have. If you're still interested on our Catholic Go Live, maybe if you want to learn more, I can show you how to grow your own seed germination in our next session, perhaps, if you're interested. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Helena. Next, we would like to hear from Boniface.
Yeah, hi again. So my farewell message is, if Wagamas or a senior citizen like uncle or grandpa Bonnie can do these two composting systems, all the young people out there should be able to do it too, or better, or bigger projects. And just like the tagline of Asia, now everyone can fly. So now everyone can compost and try and don't make the mother earth cry. And finally, remember, be the solution and not the problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Boniface, for the encouraging words. Next, we would like to hear from Teresa.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to encourage you all to make eco-enzyme for your use at home, as it is not only good and safe to use, it is non-toxic, free of chemical, saves a lot of money, and most importantly, it saves Mother Earth also. That's it.
Thank you, Teresa. And last but not least, we would like to hear from Anna.
EcoBricks may be our future solution to our plastic pollution. Nowadays, we are short of resources. So EcoBricks is the cheapest resources that we can use to build something. Students, should get together and make EcoBricks. It is what do you call it? Cost saving. You save cost, by making EcoBricks, and it is how to say it's like mind-boggling, for students. They got EcoBricks, then you can think, what are they going to build? This kind of thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, we'd like to thank our beloved panel today, and also you, our audience who are staying with us tonight. I believe all of us have learned something from the sharing tonight, and we hope that through our sharing and our stories, we will inspire you to start somewhere small and be starting to grow your veggies and trees, making bioenzyme, composting, and building eco bricks. So we hope that after you have listened from us, so you can also be part of this project. How? You can also share tonight's video with your friends. Share it with them so that they can also hear this message. Finally, we would like to show you short clips that we have prepared for everyone to play our part. We can actually revive our Mother Nature to its own beauty. For those who have not subscribed to our channel, please remember to subscribe. Thank you and good night. See you in our next show. Bye bye. Finally, we would like to thank the panel, Elena Yong from the Church of Immaculate Conception, Boniface from Cathedral of the Sacred Heart, Johor Bahru, Ena Tan from St. Teresa Church, Malacca, and Teresa from the Church of Immaculate Conception, Johor Bahru. We thank you for joining us tonight, and we also thank the Creation Justice Group for collaborating this program tonight. Please do remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for further programs. Thank you. Have a good night.